The headlines first. No fear of fresh mandate, but untimely to hold early election, says Speaker Thokchom Satyabrata. Hello, a very good afternoon, and you are watching ISTV English News. I'm Priyalakshmi Langpoklakpam. Now the news in detail. Speaker of Manipur Legislative Assembly, Thokchom Satyabrata, has stated that he has no apprehension on a fresh mandate, but maintained that it would be untimely to hold the elections at the present. He was speaking to ISTV News on the sidelines of the inaugural ceremony of newly renovated Sri Sri Gopinath Mandir at Brahmapur, Aribam Laikai, Harikagok, Makhong. Today, speaking to ISTV News, the Speaker responded to the calls for fresh elections made by Congress Party and other opposition at Parliament, terming it as inappropriate. He pointed out that while he has no fear for fresh polls, it would be suitable to conduct the election after completion of the current term. On question for possibility of reinstating a popular government before February 13, 2026, the Speaker said the state BJP leaders would have clear an answer.
Adum highway ni dono yamda ekonomi highway yani ko highway to mi absolutely adu koi adum thani na kal aru ka investment de law ri akini ga ka lai te ba law to ni moti ma tamcha ko ka de law ri ki ni lai te ri the way mai tam do so na se pedi faida publish wa wa ko mo election to se de wa ngak sibu hoi February round ki mama le sem ya bai phazar ko tai kro adu ki BJP ki party ki leadership da na ye na bai se ne khal.
Regional Centre for Cultural Heritage RCCH Manipur along with Yaripok Sangeet Ashram Natta College Yambem organized 12 International Sankirtan Day 2025 observance at RCCH Auditorium Yaripok Bamolaikai today. The observance, organized with the support of several organizations, was graced by MLA Andro AC Thongnaudam Siam Kumar, President RCCH Yaripok Laikura Mani, Secretary 12 International Natta Sankirtana Celebration Committee JNMDA Manipur, Guru Mahobam Satyavan and G. Latashana of Traditional Folk and Cultural Research Center as its dignitaries. The observance honored late Natta Sankirtan gurus with floral tributes and showcased several cultural performances. Addressing the function, Celebration Committee Secretary Saitaban, the 35 communities of Manipur have their own unique cultures and informed that Manipuri Nat Sankirtan was recognized a World Heritage by UNESCO in 2013. He appealed for collective efforts focused to preserve Nat Sankirtan and to bring peace.
Pitrivida Jati, Kudima Kunda Laita, was a Karam Bajati, Hanba Kunda Laita, Raga Lake, Hibano, have a Tidong of the labor, Dumba platform, Kugi, scientists, culture, scientists, Sam, Lebanon, Machina, board Peter of Matunda, the Kalapani, board see full view Mamang, da 2000, I at the Tavani, Tava Matamduda, there are no Matamdugi, Bangladesh, Kugi. Kada koi Prime Minister duna masi culture Sankirtan da koi gini ani yasala ko degi koi China ge great ones ge puna chamina 2008 da du yela ko degi koi je amu hanan film number 2013 da koi se Manipur Sankirtan je recognize to ro adu China ge great one ko chamina ge koi yasala ko ma yaw degi koi mana chan gi de 2013 da chalakna December 4 da law to ro ko degi ngasi bau si lep na koi na koi International Sankirtan Day Committee is now celebration of
Security forces have recovered a huge catch of arms and ammunition from the Loitang Sandum Hill Range under Sekmai Police Station in Imphal West District on Wednesday. The recoveries include one 303 rifle with 2 magazines, one double-barrel gun, one single-barrel gun, one 9mm pistol with a magazine, one number 36 HE grenade without detonator, 11 and 18 rounds 118 rounds of assorted ammunition, 8 detonators, 3 tube launchers, 8 magazines of different weapons, among others. Further, security forces recovered several arms and explosives from the foothill of Ngarian Hill near Kairau Wangkim. The recovery include one 12-bore single-barrel gun, one 9mm SMG carbine with magazine, 2 number 36 hand grenades, one IED weighing approximately 2 kgs, and one tear gas grenade. And now the national news. President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, will arrive in New Delhi today on a state visit to India for the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. During the 2-day visit, President Putin will hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow. Both leaders will exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. A number of agreements are expected to be signed, including in areas related to trade, economy, healthcare, academics, culture, and media. President Draupadi Murmu will also receive the Russian president and host a banquet in his honor. The visit will provide an opportunity for the leadership of India and Russia to review progress in bilateral relations, set the vision for strengthening the special and privileged strategic partnership. The annual summit between the Prime Minister of India and the President of Russia is the highest institutional dialogue mechanism in the strategic partnership between India and Russia. During the visit of the Russian president to India in December 2010, the strategic partnership was elevated to the level of special and privileged strategic partnership. Development of Northeastern Region Donor Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia participated in the second meeting of the high-level task force on logistics, infrastructure and connectivity in New Delhi yesterday. The meeting was convened by the Chief Minister of Tripura, Manik Shah. During the meeting, deliberations were focused on accelerating multi-modal connectivity across the region, spanning roads, railways, waterways, energy and digital networks, along with unlocking the Northeast strategic gateway to Southeast Asia. Donor Ministry in a statement said that the task force also underscored the need to strengthen trade corridors, enhance border infrastructure, improve last-mile linkages and build an integrated macro grid for the region. During the meeting, Scindia identified 3 specific initiatives that the task force needs to undertake. These initiatives include the development of a regional master plan, the formulation of a state-wise matrix of infrastructure development projects, and the formulation of a state-wise matrix of infrastructure projects suitable for public-private partnership. On the occasion, Saha highlighted key connectivity challenges faced by the region, including road, air and waterways connectivity gaps, shortcomings in digital connectivity and border trade infrastructure. And now some international news. French President Emmanuel Macron met Chinese leader Xi Jinping in Beijing, China today. The talks are expected to focus on Ukraine and trade as the European Union prepares to toughen up its trade rules. Ahead of his meetings, Macron wrote in a social media post that discussions with the Chinese leader would focus on peace and economic rebalancing. At the meeting, Xi Jinping said China was willing to work together to mark the comprehensive strategic partnership between China and France more stable. However, Xi is not expected to sign a long-awaited Airbus order or to offer Paris relief from duties on EU brandy imports, which come from France. Lebanon and Israel held their first direct talks involving civilians representatives in decades on December 3 as part of a U.S.-chaired ceasefire monitoring committee. However, Lebanese officials emphasized that these were not peace negotiations and did not signal a path to normalization of relations. The meeting took place at the headquarters of the UN peacekeeping force, UNIFIL, in Naqoura, Lebanon, near the border of Israel along the Blue Line. The session was part of the existing mechanism to oversee the November 2024 ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. For the first time, both nations sent civilian envoys in addition to military officers. The committee met for approximately 3 hours. Despite the historic nature of the direct contact, the two sides held different views on the scope and purpose of the discussions. Israel and Lebanon do not have formal diplomatic relations and are technically still at war since 1948. The talks took place amid rising tensions and a fragile security situation. The November 2024 ceasefire was intended to end over a year of hostilities between Israel and the Iran-backed Hezbollah group that erupted after the October 7, 2023 attacks on Israel. Israel has repeatedly carried out airstrikes in Lebanon since the truce, claiming to target Hezbollah members and facilities, a violation of the ceasefire provisions. A major point of contention is the U.S. and Israeli demanded that the Lebanese military disarm Hezbollah in the south. Recent deadly Israeli airstrikes and the assassination of a top Hezbollah commander in Beirut have heightened fears of a significant escalation of the conflict despite diplomatic efforts. Well, before we end this bulletin, the headlines once again. No fear of fresh mandate, but untimely to hold early elections, says Speaker Thokchom Satyabrata. Well, that's all we have in this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great afternoon.